Hello, welcome back. My coach, Nate Morrison, recently came out with his Jiu-jitsu DVD instructional on BJJ fanatics called The Butterfly Effect. And part of that video, he basically sent out a message. He was like, hey, let's go to the gym. Let's see who can beat me up. And I'm not going to turn down an invitation, to try to beat up my coach for the greater good of jiu-jitsu. So his instructional, he is very good at sweeps. So we basically did a Shark Tank on him, trying to pass his guard while he uses all the techniques shown in his BJJ Fanatics video against us. So let's see what happens. Right from the get-go, slap hands, go right in for a tight waist, and now I'm attempting to clear his butterfly hooks, and he has this overhook on my left arm, and that's going to be a problem because once he has an overhook, he has so much game from that overhook. And right now I am working to clear his hooks, and then now I'm on the correct side of passing. My head is remaining on his clavicle, and now I'm just working to get past that bottom leg. But again, he regains guard and goes straight for a sumigeshi. Now, here I am again, we're trying, I'm up again. Right away I'm addressing. And I just went for it. Right now I'm posting on his far leg on the ground in order to prevent him from regaining guard. And look at this. Do you see how he uses his right arm to stop me enough to regain his butterfly guard? Like, that was interesting. Like, we think of hooks as just our legs, but our hooks are our arms as well. So here I am, I'm up again. And right now what I'm concentrated on doing is I'm concentrated on keeping my knee to his tailbone, and then also trying to clear his hooks by back stepping and then stepping over his knee. But he's doing a very good job of regaining hooks and getting that frame. So again, I'm trying to keep as little space as possible between my elbow pits and his torso. And right now, as I am trying to get over my right leg over his knee, and now he's going for a clamp guard, and now he has an underhook. And I know that anytime somebody has an underhook on your leg, now I know this, but I should have done there is cross face. But right now I'm just focusing on maintaining a good base. And now he has an overhook on my right arm, and I am in deep doo-doo here, because once you get that position, it is like, and as you can see with the sweep, once you get an overhook in a frame, you can begin to start the sweep even before you get a hook, which is super interesting. So that overhook and frame is a lot like So right now I'm trying to clear his hook and get over so that overhook and frame is a lot like the shoulder crunch. It's the same type of control. And again, I'm going with some tight waist or body lock passing. And again, he's going for the underhook on my leg. And I'm doing a pretty good job of keeping my shoulder close to his waist, because it's called tight waist for a reason. If you allow any space, then this happens. Then they can get an underhook, they can get an overhook. And if they are hooking you using their arms or legs, that is positional control. So it's interesting to think of their arms also as hooks and their legs as hooks. It's like little mini butterfly hooks that he has for arms. So right now he has an overhook and a frame, which is very similar to a shoulder crunch, bridges and rolls and gets a sweep, technically, like even before he gets his foot hook in. And right now my right arm, see, this is a mistake right here. I went to his upper torso to control it too soon. What I should have done with my right arm is pushed his knee down or pinned it to the ground. Because right now, once he gets his leg up, once somebody has a shoulder crunch on you, it's very, very tight. It's a very good controlling position. And sumigaeshi. All right, now I'm going to show the clips of everybody because I wasn't the only person that tried to beat Nate up once he put the call out. All right, so he has an overhook and he has a butterfly hook. This is not looking good. Once Nate gets an overhook, you're done. It's game over. So Zach is, from BJJ Fanatics. Zach's very good, by the way. And so I know he's gonna try to sweep me to my left, so that's why I was putting more weight on the right. You can't touch my riches, even if you had MC Hammer and them 357s. Biggie Smalls, the millionaire, the mansion, the yacht, the 2 week spot. That was such a good, retry of the sumigaeshi. Do you see how he kind of stopped fluttering his butterfly wings and then? Oh yeah, he has a shoulder, yeah. Oh, look at that. That's how I got the weed spot. I shot Dread in the head, took the bread and the lamb spread. Let's see what it does. Yeah, he has an overhook, so Nate's gonna be trying to sweep to Nate's right side because he has an overhook on that side, so he's stopping. Oh, and then he goes. You just have to watch. Out of anybody that I've ever rolled with, Nate has the best sweep game and overhook game that I have ever seen. And his instructional, he did such a good job in his instructional. I'll leave the link below, but basically he's been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time, and his instructional is so organized, and he put a lot of thought into it. So it's definitely a treasure of knowledge. So right now he's up against a brown belt, and again once he has an overhook, this is his sweep right here. This is the Nate special, what he just did right there. So don't resist or you might miss Christmas. I tote guns, I make number runs. I give MCs the runs tripping. When I throw my clip in the AK, I slay. I never really gave credit to sweeps until I started rolling with Nate, and until I started having sweeps done to me. Basically, it's if you're on the bottom, a sweep is, I am just going to town. You put out the word for a fight? We're gonna get you a fight. Oh boy. Oh, she is spirited, boy. But I remember, if you ever go up against somebody who's really good at sweeps, it is exhausting because you are on the bottom the entire time. Like, I remember I was on the bottom and finally I was working to get inside guard and I got swept again and put on the bottom. So sweeps, it's like, if you think about it, people ask like, well, how do you escape side control? How do you escape this and how do you escape that? It's like, imagine if your guard is just about to get past and they just about have side control, and instead of allowing the side control to happen, you hit a sweep. So instead of having to escape from the bottom of side control, you've done a move that then landed you in top position. So if you ever, if you find yourself on the bottom frequently, and you're like, how do I escape these bottom positions? Like, take a look at sweep game, because if you can hit a sweep during their transition to a top side control from your guard, you just secured mount. You know what I'm saying? You just secured knee on belly. You just secured a top position. And I don't know about you, but in a fight, I'm trying to be on top. Okay? On top is where you want to be.
Everybody hit the DECA. My slow, remarkable. Peace to Mateo. Now we smoke like 20.
Oh, she's doing, oh. She's trying to do a knee and guard break.
Oh my God, I'm dropping like a pigeon. I hope you're listening. Smacking babies at the listening.
All right, and again, yes, he's doing a good job of fighting the grips. Oh my God, Nate. Okay, so do you see how he scooted in his butt? So whenever Nate starts off butterfly guard, he keeps his head forward and his butt back. That way they can't just bulldoze him. And when he's ready to do an explosive sweep, it's like an aggressive butt scoot towards them. And he does that in order to levitate the big guys. And girls, let's not be sexist, the big people. All right, he's trying to go for some tight weight passing. And Nate must be getting tired by now, holy boys. So he goes, see that? Do you see? Okay, so if somebody's trying to pass your guard, do you see the importance of frames? Do you see how he just got that underhook in addition to the frame? And it's just like getting a shoulder crunch sweep position, except, it's a lot easier to get an overhook when somebody's trying to pass. And then from here, you can go for a mirror lock. That was a very close mirror lock. I've been mirror locked by Nate countless times. So basically, how Nate typically gets the mirror lock is, you're trying to go for a tight waist, you have a deep tight waist, and then he gets the overhook and you feel threatened by the overhook, so then you try to pull out and, and this is a guillotine. This type of guillotine is really special because if they pass your guard with this guillotine on, the guillotine goes on tighter. And that's what makes this guillotine more special. Typically, if you have a regular guillotine with the regular grip and they pass your guard, you have to let go of the guillotine or else you just put yourself in a head and arm triangle choke. With this guillotine, like this, see, now would have been, this is what I would do differently now that I've practiced more tight weight passing. Right from the get-go, I would have kept my left heel to my ass. That way he couldn't sneak in any butterfly hooks. And I would be doing a better job of pinning the leg down on my passing side. So right now I'm trying to pass to my right. I would try to pin his left leg to the ground. The left leg, see, my right arm right now isn't doing shit. My right hand needs to be on a C-grip on his knee, pushing it down, because right now it's not being very helpful. We need to have all limbs contributing when you're trying to pass Nate's guard. So, did you see the bicep control? Again, he has an overhook and a frame. And this is not looking good for me. I'm gonna get swept to his left every time. Every time. If you have a forearm across your neck, put forearms across people's necks next time you roll, and see how many sweeps you get. So right now Zach is trying to shelf the top leg, knee shield, and Nate gets butterfly guard.
Let me tell you, if you're not wrong, then why? Everything is alright. So we're gonna walk, alright, through the roads of creation.
Oh, and he's trying to pin the leg. But that was so close. So close. Zach did such a good job of pinning that bottom leg to try to get over. But if he would have added the stapling using his right shin along with his hand without C-grip, ooh, that was a nice hip switch to clear the hook. Oh, he's trying hard. Oh, he almost cleared. Oh, that's such a great, the hip switching. He's doing a really good job of switching side to side. That was good. And he was trying to sneak in that guillotine. Oh, and once Nate has this Kimura, this Kimura grip is Nate's bread and butter. From here you can get the Kimura, or Nate will do a sweep, or he'll take your back from this position. And he goes for the sweep to back take. To a crucifix, one-armed rear naked choke from crucifix. And there's also the arm that's between his legs right now is an arm bar. So he got, the cross face is super important here too. So cross face them, and then that was an arm bar. So right now there's a lot of arm fighting, but if somebody has a good butterfly guard game, try to get your knee to their tailbone. That way you're pinning their butterfly hook against their heel is going to be pinned against their own tailbone, and that's going to weaken the hook. It's going to pin the butterfly hook. Like a creepy 10-year-old Jeffrey Dahmer collection of butterflies, you have to pin the wings.
Say hello to the bad guy. They say I'm a bad guy.
It's early morning. I'm sorry if the lighting is trash. It's going in and out. All right, so he's going for a tight waist, but and he's doing a good job of pinning the legs. Oh boy, looks like a mirror lock is coming.
Cause I'm in the trap on flames. I'm so hot, even if the weather change. I don't have no time.
We have some aggressive hand holding.
Twice hard to get a charge.
Good job of
I ain't paying attention to what you're saying. Raindrops keep falling on my brain. Cause I'm in the trap on flames. I'm so hot, even if the weather change. I don't have no top, I'm insane.
good switch to head. Oh,
Remember dark skin, Jermaine, swayed in the rain, it's sorta kinda the same. Except I'm no lame and you're gonna know my name. Before I go, the world will feel my pain. Saying I'm a bad guy.
he's so good. He is so good.
Against the wall, nigga, I react. Secretly though, I know you was my back. You wish you had some buzz to fly you back.
It's the shoving for me.
Relax and take notes while I take totes of the marijuana smoke. Throw you in a choke, gun smoke, gun smoke. Blicky smoke for mayor, the rat slayer, the hooker layer.
That's the thing. It's like when you're trying to pass butterfly guard, if you try to reach for their head and arm too fast, you end up stretching yourself out too much, and that allows for an easier sweep. So it's good to focus your energy on killing those hooks, those foot hooks. See, right now my right arm isn't doing shit, and it should be trying to pin the leg down, or at least getting bicep control, or doing something.
Take her Gucci bag and a North Face off her back. Japper if she act. Funny with the money, oh, you got me mistaken, honey. I don't want the visa, Capisha. I'm out like the vapor. Who's the one you call Mr. Macho? The head honcho. With this like...
See, I knew he was trying to sweep me to the, anytime somebody has, like their right, I knew which way he was going to sweep me just by the frame across my neck. So that's why I switched my weight to that side. That Sumigashi is on point. One thing that I've learned since is if I'm ever passing, if I tripod my hips too high up, it leaves a big opening to get Sumigashi'd. So if you're getting Sumigashi'd a lot, you may be tripoding up too high, because for me, I love pressure passing, and the higher your butt up when you're tripoding, the more pressure you can drive down into them. But if your hips are so high, that leaves such an opening to get Sumigashi'd. So just like a tip for you. So now I try to keep my hips lower, and I try to drive my head into their collarbone and up instead of down into the ground, if that makes sense. Zach is really good. So this is definitely something to watch right here. So Nate already has a collar tie, which isn't being addressed. And currently has a half butterfly. Some very good frames. He's getting a collar tie and wrist control, and comes in with the guillotine. Now he's in a half guard.
Te matamos si te nos vas por chorro y si me toca fugarme les corro. Lo prendimos fuego, ese cabrón estaba gritando socorro. Yo soy un demonio desde cachorro. Si me enzorro, saco la fuleta y los forros.
It's very interesting how when somebody's about to pass, he'll use his arms as a post and keep his hips far away until he's ready to re-enter and get butterfly hooks again.
Órdenes de arresto pa' todo el mundo, los esposan y con las caras tapadas pa' Telemundo. Baby, que Dios me guarde dentro un globo, porque te ven facturando y te hacen un boicot como hicieron a Cobo. Y Dios mío, cuídame a los míos. Pude haber sido una estrella y escogí ser otra fiesta.
I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up.
DJ Bebo, ¿ok?
Oíste, cabrón, socorro, lo encontraron muerto en el morro. Trabaja para el gobierno y yo la cara te borro. Te matamos si te nos vas por chorro.
Nate must be exhausted right now.
Estaba gritando socorro, yo soy un demonio desde cachorro. Si me enzorro, saco la fuleta y los forros. Y al papá le tumbamos el gorro. Un cachivato, sangre en el contrato. Si me toca...
Oh, that was good. Nice work. Look at the sweat. It's up against the big boy blue belt.
Oye, DJ Bebo.
Oye, esto es un saludo exclusivo para DJ Bebo, el más duro detrás de los platos. Te lo dice Dios, versión de la calle.
All right, so one thing that I've learned from getting this Kimura is if you're ever passing and you leave your elbow out, like let's say you're trying to pass, this is the leg, and you're flaring your elbow out, that leaves an opening for them to get a Kimura hold. So either like you can T-Rex or you can post down, but if you're flaring out, this right here is an opening for them to get that Kimura grip. So, you know, like when we first started, I remember my first coach telling me, keep your enemies close and your elbows closer. So that's a principle that reigns true. Oh, I was trying to go for the Bernardo Faria classic. The thing is with the over-under pass, you get, with the over-under pass is a half guard pass because you have one of their legs between yours, trapped. If that leg comes out, you are in triangle city. Here I am trying to sneak my little butterfly hook in. Already with the wrist control. So Zach right now is trying to get inside position. The cross space, pinning the knee to the ground. But there's still that hook. And he's trying to use his left leg to staple Nate's hook to the ground to kill it, which is a very smart move. And he just did a good job of keeping his elbow on the inside of Nate's thigh to prevent him from getting that overhook.
Apologize if I say anything I don't mean. Like, what's up with your best friend? We get out, have some fun, believe me. And what's up with these new niggas? And why they think it all comes so easy? But get it while you here, boy. Cause all that hype don't feel the same next year, boy. Yeah, and I'll be right here in my spot with a little more cash than I already got. Tripping off cause you had no shot. With my skin tan and my hair long.
It's very interesting to watch this because if you're ever trying to pass butterfly hooks, do you see Zach's right leg? If he were to put his heel to his own ass right from the get-go, right when you dive in, that decreases the probability of them getting their hook in. So you're essentially clearing the hook and taking care of the hook even before it happens, which I don't know about you, but in jiu-jitsu, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, okay? If they never get their hook in the first place, then you don't have to deal with it. Oh, shit's getting real now. He's going in for a cut across. Oh, that was great. The switch of the hips, though, that was good. All right, and you know, that was 30 minutes of trying to beat up my coach. So thank you so much for watching. I'll leave the link below for Nate's instructional. It is like so well organized, and you know, thank you. I can always appreciate somebody putting in time and effort and thought into things, and Nate, you know, how he runs his school, it's like, I remember the first time I took a class with him, I was like, holy shit, this is like a clinic. Like every class is like a seminar. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.
What's up with these new niggas? Why they think it all comes so easy?
But get it while you here, boy. Cause all that hype don't feel the same next year, boy. Yeah. And I'll be right here in my spot with a little more cash than I already got. Tripping off you cause you had no shot. With my skin tan and my hair long and my fancy